Let's talk about the excessiveness and the overcharging. And the fact that this story surrounding Luigi Mangione is very unique because both sides of this particular argument are right. So remember, everything's alleged. Be kind, cool, calm, objective, open-minded, and welcome to the point. Let's look at this thing here. You got ATF, FBI, NYPD, the mayor of New York, which we're going to get to in a minute. And Lord knows about all these other people. I mean, make no mistake about it. There is a portion of these individuals trying to get in front of this camera because Luigi's bringing them that sweet FaceTime that they need. And I would like to say it's some sort of mystery as to why New York and the federal government are reacting the way they're reacting. And this is just my opinion, but it's obvious. There was a CEO of a very major corporation who has lobbyists at the federal and state level. They're not going to put up with it. Nobody's going to threaten the dollar here. And speaking of the dollar, what about these overcharges? I mean, this thing went from second degree in New York, which is like first degree in most other states, to first degree in New York and now federal charges. I mean, they're trying to say that there was some sort of terroristic plot here, based off what they're calling the manifesto. Now for me, and this is just me personally, I'm not calling it a manifesto. I'm calling it a notebook, if they had a notebook at all. We don't know what it actually says, we just know what law enforcement is saying it's saying, if that makes any sense. And of course they're going to call it a manifesto. They're going to call it a declaration. They're going to call it some sort of call to arms, because they need this to tie to first degree charges. But there's a portion of that stuff that may not even make its way into trial. Let's just be honest. The defense hasn't looked at it. None of this has been argued in court. We've seen how these mainstream narratives get started and kicked up online. But then when the trial comes up, none of this stuff makes its way into evidence. The reason it doesn't make its way into evidence because it was never evidence to begin with. But New York is one of the business capitals of the world. There are trillions of dollars that flow through that city through commerce, through business. And even more trillions of dollars are decided about where they'll go in New York by way of these CEOs. I feel like these charges are more of a protection against the money that comes in and out of New York rather than actual terroristic threats to have the public in fear. In fact, I don't think any average everyday American citizen is expressing some sort of fear here or worried about Luigi Mangione. If anybody's worried about what that boy did, it is CEOs and it is corporate America. And the solution to that problem is easy, just nobody wants to talk about it. I mean, how many people does it take to escort one little dude from point A to point B? Yep, there's the mayor in the background right beside that 8'9" dude. I mean, since he showed up, let's talk about Eric Adams. Now, he's got his own controversies and his own problems in the past. That's not what we're going to focus on. But he gave a press conference, and he made some very interesting statements.
The guy says that he contacted the NYPD on December 5th with the name of the alleged CEO. But 4 days later, when he was caught, the NYPD said that that name wasn't on their radar. Do you know what the NYPD did with that tip, if it was investigated?
I'm sorry, who gave him the tip?
The FBI says, I think they got it from San Francisco PD.
Okay.
The FBI contacted the NYPD. They said they gave that name on December 5th.
I mean, that's just the bureaucracy of the situation. Yes, there was a tip that came in from San Francisco. It went up. It went to the FBI. It went to New York. It wasn't that it was ignored. It was just in this whole processing phase. I mean, one of the biggest holdups to the government fixing anything, in my own unprofessional opinion, is the layers they got to go through just to make something happen. I mean, FBI or not, these departments don't necessarily talk to each other all the time. So this isn't some sort of major breaking news. I don't know why this guy's asking the question.
I got a different version of that story.
Oh, I bet you did.
I think that you should communicate with the police commissioner or Rebecca Weiner, our intelligence commissioner, and see if their version is the same version. I got a different version of this story. And so I want to be accurate in the proper version getting out there, but you should speak with them. You know, I don't want to do anything that's going to impede the pending extradition or the pending investigation, but I got a different version of that.
And then just sort of related, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the outpouring of support.
Yeah,
here it comes.
From Folk Hero, about that. And then also, any update you can give us on drone sightings? I know there was some talk about it over the weekend.
Yeah. First, the outpouring of support. People are hurting. You know, they're hurting, and hurt people hurt themselves, and they hurt others.
So he's right. People are hurting, and hurt people do hurt people. But he's missing something there. Because of denied coverage, people are passing. These politicians have real opportunities here to address the underlying issues to what has brought us all to where we are at today. There is a problem. Now, is the solution violence? No, it's not. I'm not condoning it, and I've never said what happened was okay. But everybody's giving a softball answer. Well, people are hurting. People are frustrated. People are aggravated, and people are angry. No, people are passing because of policies within these corporations that are denying coverage. People are financially ruining themselves for essential procedures because the insurance companies won't cover it. That's what's going on here. It's far more than people are hurting.
And, people who have dealt with insurance industries and either had their claims denied or slow payments and all the other things, they are showing, their anger over this. But no matter how angry we are, you cannot take a weapon, a ghost with a silencer on it.
He's absolutely correct here. Regardless of how mad you get about a situation, don't throw your life away attacking one of these turds. Now, he's about to offer up a solution here, but I'm going to give you the reality of the situation after he says it.
Target someone, and that's the bottom line. There are systems to mobilize and organize. I always think of those young people who were angry and hurting after they were in our schools. Those children mobilize. They force Congress to come up with new laws. That's the methodology of what we need to do.
He is absolutely correct. That is the methodology that we're supposed to do. That's what the system's set up for. When we have a complaint, we go to these people that we elected, we address our concerns, and then they start addressing the policy to make the situation better for us. Because at the end of the day, they all work for us. But here's the problem here. People have brought this up to their elected official. People have brought this up to you, Mayor Adams. Don't pretend like nobody said, we got to fix this problem. Now, granted, it's not an easy solution. But complex and bad problems very rarely involve easy solutions. And it's one thing to say this issue is complex, this solution is difficult, we're going to sit down and talk about it, when in reality we know that the lobbyists have y'all in their pockets. So once again, don't sit there and say the solution is you go to these officials and you express your concerns and they force some sort of policy change. When that has been done, now that is a part of the argument on this other side, that is true. People have tried to peacefully say there's a problem here. We got an issue. People are passing away because of these insurance companies denying their coverage. People are ruining themselves financially because of these policies within the insurance industry. And y'all have done nothing. So don't say they're wrong for acting the way they're acting and tell them there's a peaceful way to do this when y'all have ignored the peaceful way. I mean, if I'm wrong, you can let me know, but that's just my take on it.
And we need to be clear on that, because if my pain can cause me to do what was done, then is that how we settle all of our pain? Because there's a lot of reasons to be angry and upset. And so when I see a dance party on social media should be, more responsible.
He's right. Social media should be more responsible, but so should CEOs. So should our elected officials. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility that can go around in this situation. Let's be honest about it. It isn't just the online community acting childish right now. We've elected individuals that have shirked their duties for a long time. Now, I'm not talking about any one particular party over the other. I'm just speaking in general. But there ain't enough fingers in this world to go around for who all we need to blame for what has led us to here. And nobody is willing to say it. And honestly, that's the most disturbing thing about it.
And I said this also, I think it was last year. Think about this. Think about the Ivy League, grew up in an affluent household. His manifesto clearly is showing some signs of hating. Our children are being radicalized. I said this over and over again. Everybody's like, what are you talking about, Eric? Our children are being radicalized to hate the America, to hate the country that put them where they are. This person had all that one wants to have, but he hated everything to the point of someone. And we better deal with the radicalization of our young people. And, people could, they could complain that I'm saying it, but I'm seeing it.
We're all
seeing our bench is hating the team. And we better start acknowledging and focusing on that. And so having dance parties, celebrating someone, I don't support that.
I don't either. Look, here's an opportunity for him to answer the question if he wants.
Radical left that's doing this?
No. I think the extremes on both ends are radicalizing our children. Extreme mindsets and thoughts.
He had a real opportunity to say what the problem is here. Individuals within his party and the other party are saying some real nonsensical stuff. Now, these politicians and people that get up here and do these press conferences, they're quick to say this is on social media. Social media is driving a lot of this. And to a degree, that's true, but that's a very small minority. I would be willing to bet that it's the extreme views of these individuals who get on TV that are having the effect that we're seeing right now in America's youth. Not to mention, and we've already covered this in a previous video, our education system. People are getting radicalized by what they see on the television, not necessarily solely what they see on social media. Now, once again, if you're going to blame somebody, blame yourself. Don't say the extremes on one side or the other. Mayor Adams, you've been pretty extreme at times yourself. But anyways.
Is a problem. And that is not where the majority of America is. America wants to wake up, provide for their family, ensure that their children can have a pathway to the middle class.
I find it ironic. Everybody likes to say they're here for the working family and they're focused on the middle class, while the middle class is getting sucked dry left and right, every way up and down. The rich are rich because they're not stupid. Let's just face it. You're not going to do some sort of tax system to get them to pay more. They're going to figure out a way around it. And the people in poverty don't pay any taxes. The backbone of this country is fractured. Nobody's really working for the middle class. The only people working for the middle class is the middle class themselves. At least that's just how I'm seeing it.
If not beyond. And that's why we focus on working class people. Everything we do is about giving children and families of this city a pathway.
I mean, honestly, if they'd done such a great job building a pathway for the individuals within the middle class to have a good, successful life in that city, why are so many of these people moving down here? I mean, it's not like people in droves from the Southeast and, let's say, the Midwest, for example, are moving to the Northeast. No, they're all getting out of there and coming into here. So whatever it is you think you're doing, it's probably not working.
For a better tomorrow and a better future. Now, the drones, I spoke with the NYPD leadership this morning and yesterday so that we could collaborate with New Jersey, Long Island, and other parts of the city and country where these drones are being witnessed, and see how do we have a cross collaboration from everything. How do we take one down if we think it's dangerous, if it's over a sensitive location. The worst thing we can do is to say, don't worry about it. There's no big issue. No, it is a big issue. If a bird strikes the engine of a plane, it can take down that plane.
They aren't flying
Same thing with a drone.
Look, this video ain't about drones. It's about Luigi Mangione. The drones are just research and development. That's my guess. If you disagree, let me know. And if you like this and a more open conversation, then maybe check one of these videos out. Y'all be safe now.